So, fun fact. This trip, Christmas 2024 on Royal Caribbean, had a little bit of everything. Peaceful ocean views, a private island in the Bahamas, amazing seafood, a silent party where everyone looked a little crazy dancing to different songs. And then the cruise took a turn. Let's just say, by the end of this trip, we were questioning some things.
Welcome to my world, come stay a while. Kick back, relax and share a smile. Creativity and love and order. You're right at home in heaven's cozy corner. The stars align, the night is bright. Let's dance together in the light. Heaven's cozy corners where you belong.
All right, let's start with the good. You're stepping into a floating little world where real life is on pause for a few days. We left out of New Jersey on what felt like the coldest day of the year. It was freezing. So by the time day 2 came around and we were sitting outside on the balcony in warmer weather, it felt amazing. Just sitting there breathing in fresh ocean air, watching the water move, and not hearing city noises for once. If you know anything about living in New York or around it, everything is a rush. Everything is rush, rush, rush all the time. Being able to slow down like that, even for a moment, brings a level of peace that's hard to explain. And I really tried to take those moments in on this trip. But the next stop was Port Canaveral. I could never say that right, so don't come for me in the comments. It is what it is. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't record anything there. There just wasn't anything we really wanted to do that day. So instead of forcing an excursion, we kept it simple. We found the restaurant, we sat down, we had a seafood boil. That food was a solid 10 out of 10, no complaints. Just good food, good company. And then we headed right back to the ship. Later that night, we went to a silent party. If you've never been to a silent party before, everyone is wearing headphones and there are different music stations playing at the same time. Definitely one of the funniest nights on the ship. So you're watching people dance, but everyone is dancing to completely different songs. It was honestly hilarious to watch. You'd see one group singing their hearts out, another group doing a total different dance, and then someone in the middle just vibing to their own station. Now the next day was the day everyone waits for on Royal Caribbean cruises. Perfect day at Coco Cay. Before we even got off the boat, you could see the big hot air balloon from the deck. I really wanted to go up, but unfortunately it was too windy that day, so they didn't let it fly. But honestly, there was still so much to do on the island. There are beaches everywhere, pools, a whole water park, bars, food spots, everything. It's basically Royal Caribbean's private playground in the Bahamas. I definitely had a good time while I was there. And the food on the island is included. They also had a really beautiful sand sculpture, and Santa Claus was out there taking pictures. It was actually really cute. And one thing about cruise ships, there's always something to do. They had a giant Connect 4 game, arcades, sports areas, live shows, all kinds of things. But one of my favorite random things was the guy playing piano in the elevator. Yes, the elevator. Every night he will move from one elevator to another, just casually playing the piano while people were riding up and down. It was such a small detail, but it made the whole experience feel fun and a little fancy at the same time. Then we arrived in Nassau. One of the first things I noticed when we got off the ship was the big aquarium sign. It definitely caught my attention. It was the time of the Junkanoo celebration. Now technically the main parade started the day before, but we were still able to catch it before everything wrapped up. This was actually my second time visiting Nassau, but the last time I came was before they remodeled the cruise port area. After a major storm, they started redeveloping the Nassau cruise port around 2020. Construction slowed down during COVID, but the new port officially reopened in 2023. So when we visited in 2024, everything still felt pretty new and updated. After watching part of the parade, we went to the Junkanoo Museum and did the self-guided tour. And I'm really glad we did because I learned a lot. Junkanoo has deep history in the Bahamas. During slavery, enslaved people were given a few days around Christmas where they were allowed to celebrate in the streets. Over time, they started creating music, dancing, and making elaborate costumes using whatever material they could find, like paper, cardboard, sea sponges, and scraps. And the incredible part is that even today, many of those costumes are still handmade the same way. The colors, the details, the craftsmanship, it's honestly amazing. See, so he made his out of the sea sponges. After the museum, we did a little shopping, found some good food, and then it was time to head back to the ship. There were several cruise ships docked that day, but watching us pull away from Nassau really put things into perspective. Our ship was one of the biggest ones out there at the time. And once again, it was peaceful. I made it a point on this trip to watch as many sunrises and sunsets as I could. Sometimes we get so busy living life, watching the sun come up over the ocean, remind you to slow down. And honestly, slowing down makes life feel fuller. Since this cruise was during Christmas, the ship was fully decorated. They had holiday treats everywhere. Beautiful fruit carvings, gingerbread houses, a little gingerbread village set up. It was really festive and honestly just nice to see. But now, let's talk about the food. We tried 3 specialty restaurants on the ship. Our favorite by far was the Teppanyaki restaurant. That experience was fun. The food was great and it felt like dinner and a show all at once. But then we went to Izumi, and unfortunately, that was the worst dining experience we had on the entire cruise. Our waiter honestly seemed like he was having a really bad day. He brought out food straight from the fryer with oil still dripping from it, didn't warn us that it was extremely hot, and placed it directly on the table. I took one bite and immediately burnt my tongue. Not just a little burnt either. I ended up with 2 blisters on the side of my tongue from the hot oil. And the worst part was the waiter really didn't seem to care. So after that, I was done eating for the night. My mom and my daughter finished my sushi for me though. And they said the sushi and desserts were actually really good. The buffet on the ship was also kind of a hit or miss. Some days the food was great, other days not so much. It was good. So I didn't eat the white rice because I had enough with the jambalaya rice. But look at this. Why is this biscuit that hard? You can knock somebody out with that biscuit. And that's not even a crumb that came off. That's the rice. That was ridiculous. And this salad that I made was really good. And since I'm a pescatarian, it's already a little harder for me to find food options. Usually, there are only 1 or 2 fish options at the buffet, and I didn't always feel like going to the main dining room every single night. But the worst situation on the trip actually happened in our cabin. My mom started to get bitten up while we were sleeping. We called someone to check the room, and they said they didn't find anything. And then the next day, I started getting bitten up too. So at this point, we were ready for the cruise to end. And that was pretty much how our trip wrapped up. I guess you'll just have to stay tuned to see if I ever go on Royal Caribbean again. And I'll catch you next time on Heaven's Cozy Corner.
Creativity and love and order. You're right at home in Heaven's Cozy Corner. The stars align, the night is bright.